The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership Podcast. It's yet another edition of The Big Issue. First of all, I would like to greet you all and just hope that you had a very wonderful weekend. As usual, I'm your regular host, George Jagba is the name, and with me here in the studio are our in-house analyst, Silas Ezebu. And of course, we have a new entrant, Salifu Usman. Of course, he's the anchor of Sports Orbit. So we're hoping that with Salifu Usman here, the anchor of our popular sports program, we'll begin to have our sports fans joining us on the big issue today. Well, without taking much of your time, the big issue of the day is the killing of Deborah and the limit of jungle justice. Well, last week Thursday was a bloody Thursday in the country where a mob gruesomely murdered late Mrs. Deborah Samuel over alleged blasphemy, leading to nationwide outrage against the backdrop of the protests that trailed the killing of the student of Shehu Shagari College of Education, Sokoto. Protesters took to the streets demanding the release of two suspects that were arrested in respect of the late Deborah's mother. And of course, the protest, which started about 9 a.m., saw the protesters who were chanting "God is great" in Arabic, also faulting what they describe as sympathy trailing the mother of Deborah. And of course, it went to the extent of attacking the palace of the Sultan of Sokoto. Well, the story is out there, Silas, but I think the issue here is that, just like Bongo Suko sang in one of his songs, "What Right is Right," he narrated the story of a mob attack where a young man was being pursued. At the end, they trailed him, got him down, and killed him for the offense of stealing. And Bongo Suko asks, "What right is right? What wrong is wrong enough to take a man's life?" In the end, he concluded that there's no right that is right. There's no wrong that is wrong enough to take man's life. And in this case, whatever form it comes, Silas, whether by mob attack from any angle, whether they are killing somebody that has been alleged to be a thief who stole something, or just like in this case, it amounts to blasphemy. And of course, we all know that the two major religions in the country don't joke with their spiritual symbols. We're talking of Jesus Christ in Christianity, and then the Holy Prophet Muhammad in Islam. Blasphemy against this true spiritual symbol is a grievous offense. But be that as it may, the idea of hiding under the cloak of religion to carry out jungle justice is what most Nigerians are worried about. Silas, the issue of jungle justice is growing by the day, and was it yesterday? Something similar happened in Lagos, where somebody was killed. And most Nigerians are beginning to wonder the idea of resorting to jungle justice. Is it constitutional? Is it in line with the laws of the land?
Well, to begin with, even the way he presented it tells the story that it can't be constitutional. But call it jungle. The jungle is where there's no law, where the law is the survival of the fittest, where animals swallow other animals to learn to live, where the strongest overcome the weaker ones and use them for breakfast and lunch and supper, and even for to play sport. You know? can see sometimes see some feral animals, felines, or some big cats catching some rodent and throwing them up and down, use them to play sport. That's the law of the jungle. That's why I call it jungle justice. Where it's mob action, they are judge of the spot on your kids, destroy it. So whether it's a constitution, everyone knows that it's not constitutional until whether it's not because it's legality, it's verbality that people are shouting. Okay? You mentioned something very important. It's never go to blaspheme. You know, it's, nobody wants it is a goes there. That's what it's felt to be castigated and talked of in indecent form. Okay. Able to feel angry. I remember when I feel last month, it said back an advert where somebody referred to Jesus.
So
Jesus
it was just the adverts in the advert write-up. I think they
said
said that
publishing newspaper
Jesus Christ rose like
agege bread.
agege bread.
Because, in Christendom, for instance, they see Jesus as God. Other people may not think so, but they see Jesus as God. The God, and when someone is comparing their God who rose from dead as agege bread, you know, that was pure blasphemy. Pure blasphemy. And what did they do? They didn't go and cut the guys off. They come and said, this is wrong. I apologize. And I'm sure that the man had taken his lesson, apologized. Okay, so anything that is jungle, you know, they didn't call out for them to be killed. You know? So that is a simple way of following things up. But like the question I asked, I don't want to get into that thing because we still have to discuss. Is that whether it's illegal, it's unconstitutional, it is barbaric. In fact, even a serious Muslim organization like Murid eh, says it's unlawful. It is outrageous. They use that term outrageous to modern society. For them to say that, of course, even Sultan said it's not it's wrong. The president himself, who is a very devout Muslim, said it is wrong. It is not how it is done. Other clerics, even the Gumi that Nigerians were cascading for being advocate for
Being associated with bandits.
bandits and advocate for bandits,
Hmm.
you know, faith to bandits, you know, has come to say that anybody who engages in that was a candidate for hell, fire. I don't know. I'm sure those who practice the Islamic religion, Christian religion, Buddhism, everybody wants to go to heaven. After they die, they want to go to a place of rest forever. And that's heaven. They call it Ajana or something. Okay? Right? They call it heaven and place. So if a cleric who understands saying those who do this kind of thing should go to hell, then those people who are involved in this kind of thing, and unfortunately, there are some supposedly enlightened, well-versed clerics who are supporting such mob action. I think that this issue demands that we have proper education, both the learned and unlearned.
Create the awareness.
Get the awareness. I just hope that this Deborah skill will generate a good conversation to change the attitude to mob action. Mob action is not good at all. At all, because the person is the accuser, is the judge, and the executioner,
Prosecutor.
everything in one piece. And the very 5 minutes of judge, you have been accused, judged, and sentenced to death and executed all at once. There's no space for you to even say, even defend yourself in any way. That's why, according to some of the people I've had who spoke, they said if somebody has committed an offense, if you perceive so, you report him to the authorities. There is Sharia law in some areas, Nigeria. There's Sharia police, they call it Hisba. You report to the Hisba. Hisba will not take it up with the authorities. The person will go through a process. So that justice will not just be done, but seem to be what? Done. So it's not illegal. It's not legal at all.
Thank you very much,
It's
Silas.
not just legal. It's not even right.
I think you made a very valid and strong point there. Salifu, we could even imagine that the protesters in Sokoto went to the extent of of attacking or attempting to attack the palace of the Sultan, His Eminence.
That
is a man that is considered as
spiritual head.
though it is not written, the spiritual
head
head
of
Islam
in
the
Nigeria.
country.
So do they know more than Sultan about Islam?
Yeah, that is the point. Look at that angle. How can we justify that?
George, thank you very much. What is wrong is always wrong. And there's no any way to define or to see that to condemn it. And when you are talking of, for instance, like in the case of what happened in the scenario that played out in Sokoto, there's no anybody, any learned person, or any, no matter how stupid you are, that you come to such postures and it's totally wrong. For instance, even in as much as we don't go into detail, Islam will all know. Islam is the most peaceful religion on the earth. That is why, as a Muslim, when you meet your fellow Muslim, say Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you, and he reply again, Amin wa alaikum salam, peace be unto you also. But the greatest problem is the ignorant Muslim. Through their attitudes led them to intolerance. And at the same time, their action create bad image for the Islam. If as a Muslim, if you are a pure Muslim, even to insult somebody, you hardly say you are stupid. Because as a Muslim, you don't even have the right to condemn a creator, someone created by God, to condemn it or to see you are stupid to insult. Talkers of say raising an arm or raise your hand against the person. And for this, even though if somebody blaspheme or insult, yes, it is very wrong. It is condemnable for any leader to speak against the symbols of
Islam, all the faiths.
It's totally wrong for anybody to speak against
the Christian community. We don't tolerate blasphemy.
But it's not in you as a follower or as a practice of that religion to judge.
Take the laws into your hand.
And that is how in Islam we have, like we have law, Sharia law, and all those things. So if you feel this person have said against this, it is not your right. Even for Prophet Muhammad during his day in his lifetime, how many times people insulted himself? And how many people did the prophet kill? How many people did the prophet insult his followers? Say, go attack. There are many examples of prophet. Islam means that if you say you are a Muslim, you are safe to follow Allah and follow the teaching of the Holy Quran, the way the prophet practiced.
How he live his life.
How he live his life, how he practiced. Totally, that's what they call hadith. You're supposed to follow it by hadith and the way the prophet preached, the way he acted, and the what he did. But if you go on the contrary, you are not a Muslim. And
you are not even representing the teachings of Islam.
So if you are acting, okay, say this or say this, and just like in the ordinarily, and for instance, even in the case of the ordinary, in the Roman law, if somebody steals, you go after the person, you say, why should this steal? You knock him down. No, in as much as we condemn thief, he still has opportunities to still defend his or herself.
Yes,
it's not in you to take the law, and that's why the government in this wisdom, we have securities and have everything. We have law enforcement agency for it. There's another thing for you to report something. And for instance, and at the same time, like what happened in the if it what we hear about is true about it. For instance, and so there are so many things we play over it, which you thought is right, but it's quite totally wrong. For instance, as a group, if you are a group of friends, based on whether you are a student, as a group as a student, so you have a common agenda as a student to have that group. The essence of that group as a student is for your studies.
Yes.
So if you are just a group of a politician, if you are a campaign for things, you have a particular idea for politics.
Yes.
So if you have something, a group, a platform that is clear based on certain things, and you are bringing another thing into that group, you are committing a sin. Because that thing you are bringing is inclusive for another people interest.
Yeah.
So if you are,
and that was a trigger to all this.
So we should be mindful in our conduct, in our actions.
To respect to that person.
Some certain we posted on the platform to respect other practitioners or other participants of that.
You will not see that way.
Thank you very much, Salah. You made a very salient point there, and that point is very valid. Because naturally, during the holy days, like we have the Salah, the Easter, during the Ramadan, most of what the Islamic clerics preach and even leaders of the country during Salah is that Nigerians, not just only Islam, should imbibe the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, which has to do with tolerance, peaceful coexistence, and the rest.
And to live that life,
Yes,
even
course.
after the Ramadan,
Yes.
just keep living like that.
Well, we'll go for a very short break, and as we do so, we expect that we'll get reactions from our viewers. We'll hope that they'll contribute constructively to the conversation on the big issue. You don't just go offline. We'll be back in a moment.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Well, welcome back. We're still on the big issue in Leadership Podcast. And of course, the big issue of the day is the killing of Deborah and the limit of jungle justice. Well, as we were talking, Silas, you see, they were, from what just happened, feel as we are getting some of those close to Deborah, her friends. Some of them, I think one of them made one said something, was it yesterday or when, that where this thing was triggered, the young man who even started the argument with Deborah in this regard, one of Deborah's friends is saying that when Deborah was alive, Deborah was always telling them that the guy has been chasing her and she has been trying to avoid the guy. So now, see where jungle justice comes. You have a personal issue with somebody, and just because a girl refuses to agree to your advances, you're not weaving religious sentiment into it, knowing very well that that is the only way you can draw people. And then is that a way of getting vengeful? Because you do that, and then where people become ignorant, jumping into things they are not aware, don't know the reasons in their own mind, they are doing what they think is in line with their religion. They don't know that they are helping somebody to perpetrate his evil act. If it is true that the guy was always chasing Deborah, the guy got back to Deborah for turning down his advances by instigating more against her, and then you carry on, you now involve yourself in something. What you did is to engage in helping somebody to carry out his nefarious act without knowing.
That reminds me of the Arrow 4. It was a similar case. That's why jungle justice, motion is not good. The Arrow, remember the Arrow case, Arrow 4, those students who went to get their money back. Somebody borrowed money from them and they wanted to go and collect the money back. And the person now shouted, thief. And before you knew that, sorted those guys. So later it was found out that
they are looked for.
Yes,
I remember.
I think the question was either they sold laptop or something. They want to collect the money. The guy was ready to pay. So they said, well, the guy now raised around that they were thief. Maybe they came to take something by force. As the kind of if you don't get money, I will seize you or something. And the same thing that happens in the market sometimes. See, when we are growing up, we were warned that if you're in the market and they shout thief, don't follow and run. Because the guy's friends, the thief's acolyte, they can in the run they can just put to a tree and say you are the thief. Everybody will have to follow you. That's the danger of mobile shop. Because those who are paid don't know what is happening. So I will tell somebody is a very respected Muslim writer that the danger with this is that if someone does not like the shape of your jawline, don't you know to say that you have done blasphemy and shout Allah Akbar? Before you can even say it, Those
They're
who will kill
finished.
you will not even know what has happened before you are dead. All those people are carrying carrying cups and burning her. They don't even tell them what
them out is the genesis of the cruise.
And
they cannot
I'm
tell
very
you.
sure that if they know the genesis of that thing, some of them will
They will not follow.
they will grieve in the spirit for even taking part in it.
But that's dangerous. So mob action is. I think that I mentioned earlier that we need to be careful the kind of teachings we give to people, because I've had some writing. Say literate. Okay, it didn't say literate. Say ignorant. Because someone can be literate but ignorant. Literate is nothing but ignorant in what the religion is saying.
Yes.
I've seen some clerics, imams, justifying it and saying it was they did the right thing, like they performed and the penalty is death. But okay, even if it's death, is she a Muslim that's supposed to go through a Muslim trial? Does the law apply to her? Okay, did they report her to the prosecutor? And it's a person cannot judge a person and announce that. It is always the state or the law that will say this person is wrong. Which law? Which authority? Somebody mentioned Atala Khomeini. I think Khomeini that passed the fatwa on some Rushdie for writing those satanic verses. That's an authority. They must have a council, Islamic council in Iran, and review the book and say this is we cannot take it. This person has to die. In Kano, in Sokoto, which authority actually sat down? So that's why we're saying that we should teach the people who are following us that you cannot take laws into your hands. Mob action is not good, because if it happens to you, you will not like it.
Of course.
Because innocent people will begin to suffer what they have not done. I mentioned Alu case. The one of Akaluka in Kano. They said it was alleged that he used a part of the Quran to another we found out that it was just a piece of bread written in Arabic language. Then somebody saw it and felt it was Quran.
It's a piece of
Bread label that was written in Arabic
label of bread.
that he used to other wash
That
his hands or
paper you see,
something.
they will put.
I thought it written in Arabic. He now felt it was and John was scared. In fact, his head was cut off in public. Now, by the time they found out that it was not even Quran, man was already gone. So anything that is
sorry to cut you short, Mr. Silas. We're beginning to get some reactions from our viewers, and of course we have ABK Alagba. ABK Alagba has this to say: where is the relevant verses in the Quran that authorizes the street to murder a human being? Sheikh Gumi said it is un-Islamic to kill a human being over an insult to their prophet. So which book authorized the killing? Why not attest such accuse and let the law decide in accordance with Sharia law? That is what we are saying here. I think it's just the point we are making here, that to show you that most of our viewers out there are actually in tune with what we are.
I was also coming to this other issue of that woman that was killed in 207. A teacher that was vigilating a class. A student carried her bag to her chair. And you know, if you're vigilating, you don't allow bags.
Of course.
So she carried the bag and took it to the front of the class. And the guy shouted that the Quran is inside it, and the one has blasphemed the Quran. And the students gathered up and they killed the woman. So, okay, how was she to know that was did anybody even find out that was inside? Because the woman had been a strict disciplinarian, and they now use that opportunity to get at her. So, there should be a pause. Okay, what did he do? Let there be a question and answer. Let everybody answer, defend themselves before you can pronounce death in this sense. So, I think that the issue we are doing is that more justice is not justice at all.
It's
It's
not
injustice
at all.
It's
In any form of it. And then Salivu,
Yes.
let's see. There is this point I wanted to notice, just like what Silas said, and just like Alagba was saying here, he was asking about which book, and he agreed with what Silas said. That look, whoever is accused of anything, whether stealing or blasphemy, the due process of the law must follow, even if it has to do with the religious law, in this case Sharia. Because, for instance, an Islamic cleric, what is that his name? Abu Jabbar, was accused of blaspheming Prophet Muhammad, and of course he was taken to court. He has been going to court to defend himself, even up to now. You see, now the question most Nigerians are asking, why didn't they stone Abdul Jabbar the way they let Deborah was stoned? And most of them, and of course, they even gave an instance of another atheist, Mubarak Bala, who was sentenced to 24 years imprisonment for saying there is no God. And they considered that she was blasphemy. But he was not stoned to death.
That's right.
And then the idea of raising this question and giving these instances is that they are looking at the killing of Deborah and the handling of these other people that are accused of that as double standards in the whole process.
But even in Islam, when there's some section of the say that somebody should be stoned to death if you committed something. Stoned to death.
Sorry, Salifu, before you continue, let's look at what we have. Another of our viewer commenting. And who do we have there? We have Plug, Plugg. Plug is saying the Sharia law is only applicable to Muslims and not for non-Muslims. The Salifu Usman in the studio should clarify more on this. If otherwise, let us know. You see, Plug is a bit targeted at you.
No, not that. This is the person that.
Yeah, you should clarify on this.
Clarify for those who are watching.
The Sharia law doesn't it apply to only Islam? Does it apply to Christian too? Although that is a very sensitive area.
For instance, as a Muslim, you are followers of Prophet Muhammad.
Yes.
And the Prophet Muhammad, from the histories and from the background, historical background, is intolerant to relate to a lot of people.
Of
and
course.
even space from scenarios that we read that in the Prophet, what he used, the Prophet used to power.
The same thing applies
There's
to
a woman that will always come there to
urinate, yes.
mess up the place. The Prophet will come clean the place. And then the woman continued, but the Prophet continued until one day the Prophet came there and he didn't see the messing of the blood. And not as well as this woman. And that is why the woman was not feeling. The Prophet still went there to go and visit the woman who was also still mess up with her place. And that's why the woman said, "Oh, despite all I'm doing to you, you still have that mind to her say to come on." And that is when the woman talked to him to talk to Muslims.
Yeah, of course. That is a good way of converting.
So we need Islam, just like I said, like Islam is the most very peaceful, and we need to tolerate each other. And if for example, there's no anywhere where you, as a human being, you have a right to take another person's life. There's no anywhere. Either as a Muslim, whether as a Christian, or anyway,
it applies to whether you're a Muslim or not.
There's no anywhere you have a right you to take another person's life. Or no circumstances. You don't have a right to take another person's life.
It's not stated in the holy books.
It's not stated anywhere.
So why are they getting it from?
I don't know. And that is why we're saying that this action, sometimes the way we link this action is un-Islamic. This is not Islam. This is totally wrong. It's not part of Islam for you to say you want to kill. When you kill, you are just being evil. There's nothing relating to Islam.
And just like Silas said, the president himself is a Muslim to the core. Then look at the Sultan, who is the spiritual head of Islam in Nigeria, the Muslims in Nigeria. Look at Sheikh Gumi.
Okay, let us
all of them coming out clearly to condemn this.
Even
Murid.
I used to see them as very, very conservative Muslim group.
So, one thing that I want to add is that as a Christian, the leaders of faith, both the Islam and the Christian, I think we commend them, they are doing a lot, of course. But they still need to do more.
To create that awareness. That there is nothing that justifies taking human life.
If when you take human life, your place is heavy, your place is fire, is fire. You don't have the right to kill a soul.
Well, that is the much we can take on the big issue. And of course, on the big issue today, I think the takeaways has to do with the need for creating more awareness that the idea of taking human life in the name of blasphemy amounts to unnecessary fanaticism. And of course, jungle justice in any form is barbarism. Thank you for keeping tab with us. And of course, I'll thank our in-house analysts for analyzing the big issue and addressing it the way it is. Join us same time tomorrow for another edition of this program. Do have a wonderful day.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.